There is a certain kind of machine that makes you rethink what a street vehicle can be. Not because of its top speed or its spec sheet, but because it carries a level of intent usually reserved for the upper edge of competition. These machines feel less like products and more like permission slips to experience engineering at its most focused. When you encounter one, you sense that every component, surface, and decision was guided by a pursuit that rarely aligns with everyday practicality. The result is a presence that feels almost out of place on public roads. It is technology built for high load and precision, adapted just enough to exist in our world without losing its original purpose. Stories like this matter because they show what happens when a manufacturer attempts to bridge two incompatible environments: performance and usability, controlled test conditions and unpredictable pavement, peak capability and basic legality. If you want more deep dives into these rare intersections of engineering and ambition, like and subscribe, and leave a comment with the next topic you want covered. The 2015 Honda RC213V-S enters any discussion of high performance with an unusual tension. It carries the architecture and mindset of a prototype adapted for minimal compliance rather than broad accessibility. This duality creates an ideal lens to explore how a machine shaped by competition thinking must evolve when brought into the realm of commuting, traffic flow, and long-term service expectations. The story is less about raw capability and more about the interface between ambition and regulation. When you examine the Honda RC213V-S in detail, you find a structure that traces directly to the engineering routine used for a top-level prototype. The frame welds, the material choices, and the geometry reflect a workflow designed to prioritize feedback at extreme lean angles and stability under high load rather than comfort or simplicity. This makes the motorcycle valuable as a study in intent. Engineers worked from a foundation built for controlled test laps and reinterpreted it just enough to satisfy emissions limits, noise restrictions, and durability standards for public roads. When we frame the Honda RC213V-S this way, we can understand why it captures attention. It is not simply a high-end product but a reference point showing how a process built for competition is rescoped for everyday use. The result is a motorcycle that carries a distinct posture. It aims to produce a direct and precise connection between the rider and the front tire, not to elevate straight-line acceleration or high-speed comfort. This perspective also reveals why the motorcycle sits apart from typical high-output street machines. Those are designed from day one to satisfy regulations while targeting wide markets, while the Honda RC213V-S began as a specialized structure built for short service intervals and controlled temperature windows. When transferring that architecture to a street context, engineers had to decide which components could remain unchanged and which needed reinforcement or redesign. The frame and swing arm could stay close to prototype form, while the engine internals and electronics required modifications to handle longer mileage expectations and lower maintenance frequency. This approach helps explain the unusual price and low production volume. Each unit was effectively created with an attention to detail closer to a hand-built prototype than a mass-produced model. The Honda RC213V-S therefore provides a window into the cost of preserving lineage. The motorcycle exists because a manufacturer wanted to showcase the highest level of chassis feedback and handling fidelity possible within a street-legal package rather than chase conventional performance metrics. This becomes clearer when examining the riding position and ergonomics. The pegs, seat, and clip-ons prioritize body positioning suited for high lean angles, making the machine feel different from typical superbikes intended for mixed use. Riders describe a sensation of precision rather than overwhelming force. The focus is on allowing the rider to read the pavement and adjust lines with minimal effort. This characteristic reflects the prototype heritage. Competition machines are built to communicate surface texture, grip variation, and chassis load to the rider in real time. Translating that effect to a street machine produces a unique experience. Even at moderate speeds, the structure feels alive, and the rider senses feedback that would normally appear only at much higher loads. This quality is central to understanding the Honda RC213V-S. Its appeal comes not from top-speed bragging rights but from how it conveys information through the bars and pegs. This emphasis on transparency requires specific engineering decisions. The cable throttle system, the relatively light flywheel effect, and the balanced mass distribution all contribute to a sense of immediacy. To maintain this character, engineers resisted the temptation to incorporate heavy components commonly used to simplify emissions performance on street motorcycles. Instead, they tuned the intake and exhaust system to meet regulations without dulling response entirely. The resulting compromise defines the baseline experience. Some riders expected more peak output based on the prototype association, but the core value of the Honda RC213V-S lies in feel rather than sheer acceleration. This distinction underscores the broader mission of the motorcycle. The engineering priority was not to dominate straight-line comparisons but to translate handling precision from a competition setting to a legal street format. When viewed this way, the motorcycle becomes a teaching tool. It reveals the difference between designing for lap times under controlled conditions and designing for public roads with unpredictable surfaces and broad operating ranges. Engineers had to consider temperature fluctuations, fuel variability, and extended use without the constant tear-down procedures common in prototype service routines. The Honda RC213V-S demonstrates how these requirements shift component choices. Connecting rods, valve springs, and piston coatings must handle extended intervals, which influences the safe operating envelope. Even the electronic strategy reflects this shift. The system is simplified relative to a full prototype setup, ensuring that riders have reliable and predictable performance without constant recalibration. This pragmatic approach does not dilute the intent. Instead, it highlights the careful balance needed to maintain the core identity of the machine while acknowledging the realities of street use. The motorcycle showcases how engineering culture shapes product decisions. When a team steeped in prototype development is tasked with creating a legal street machine, they prioritize sensation, clarity, and balance rather than headline figures. This philosophy becomes evident when analyzing the chassis stiffness distribution. The frame is engineered to flex in specific directions to communicate load while maintaining stability. Street motorcycles often use stiffer structures to accommodate a wide range of riders and conditions. But the Honda RC213V-S retains a competition-inspired compliance pattern. This choice allows skilled riders to interpret traction conditions more effectively. The frame transmits subtle cues that inform line adjustments and throttle control. The suspension setup further reinforces this character. Lightweight components and precise damping calibration create a platform that resists harshness while preserving accuracy. This approach means the motorcycle may feel firm to riders accustomed to softer street setups, but the payoff is a predictable response when cornering forces increase. The braking system continues the theme. Strong initial bite paired with linear progression allows careful trail braking without unexpected behavior. These combined decisions produce a motorcycle that encourages deliberate technique and rewards subtle input. The Honda RC213V-S therefore becomes an example of how a product can express the engineering identity of a manufacturer. It is less concerned with mainstream expectations and more focused on delivering a high-fidelity experience consistent with its origins. The result is a machine best understood as an interpretation rather than an adaptation. It interprets prototype engineering for the street instead of transforming it into a conventional format. This framing illuminates why enthusiasts view it with such interest. It represents an attempt to preserve purity of purpose within the constraints of road legality. The 2015 Honda RC213V-S presents a rare opportunity to examine what happens when a structure shaped by prototype priorities is pressed into service for a legal street format. The motorcycle exposes every tension point between specialized engineering and real-world expectations. The Honda RC213V-S begins this exploration with its engine, a power plant derived from a design philosophy that values rapid response, minimal rotating mass, and high load stability. These traits serve a clear purpose in a controlled test environment where grip, temperature, and maintenance are tightly managed. Translating this architecture to public roads required a comprehensive rethinking of operating conditions. Riders would encounter temperature swings, fuel quality variations, long mileage days, and the sort of stop-and-go patterns that typically challenge engines optimized for high RPM use. Engineers adjusted internal tolerances, reinforced several components, and implemented revised lubrication strategies to ensure durability without eliminating the distinctive character that defines the Honda RC213V-S. The engine retains an immediacy that signals its origins while accepting the compromises necessary for broader usability. Much of the debate surrounding the motorcycle centers on output. The base version delivers modest peak figures relative to expectations, but this choice reflects a deliberate approach to balancing emissions compliance, reliability, and engine feel. The optional kit available in select regions underscores the truth. The underlying engine retains significant potential, but unleashing it fully would undermine the longevity and regulatory compatibility needed for a legal street machine. This dynamic is essential to understanding the motorcycle. The Honda RC213V-S is built around the principle that true performance requires more than headline numbers. instead prioritizing sustained operation within a predictable envelope. This philosophy is evident in the intake system, the combustion chamber design, and the way the throttle response is calibrated. Engineers focused on maintaining precision rather than maximizing absolute force. When considering the broader chassis package, the Honda RC213V-S reveals an even clearer link to prototype heritage. The stiffness distribution is tuned to encourage feedback without excessive harshness, a quality that becomes apparent even at moderate speeds. Most street motorcycles are engineered to absorb irregular surfaces while maintaining compliance, but the Honda RC213V-S takes a different approach. Its frame communicates weight transfer, grip variation, and minute changes in cornering load, enabling riders to sense conditions that would remain hidden on other machines. This attribute required careful calibration of structural flex, which is rarely emphasized in street designs. By tailoring the frame to support controlled flex patterns, engineers allowed the motorcycle to mirror the communication style of a prototype while still meeting road durability requirements. The front end further amplifies this intent. Lightweight construction and precise damping encourage clean turn-in and stable mid-corner behavior. The suspension is firm but not punishing. It prioritizes accuracy, a trait that aligns with the machine's origins and highlights the engineering choices that distinguish the Honda RC213V-S from mainstream offerings. It is this structural honesty that defines the experience. The motorcycle invites the rider into a dialogue about traction, lean angle, and surface quality. The brakes complement this approach. The system is powerful yet linear, enabling riders to adjust input with confidence even under changing surface conditions. This balance comes from a focus on modulation rather than outright force. Engineers wanted the motorcycle to provide clarity during trail braking and mid-corner adjustments. The ergonomic design reinforces all these themes. The Honda RC213V-S places the rider in a posture optimized for body positioning during high lean angle riding, a choice that supports chassis communication while requiring a level of commitment not typically associated with everyday street machines. This environment signals that the motorcycle expects technique. It rewards precision, thoughtful inputs, and smooth transitions. Riders who understand how to distribute weight, adjust throttle application, and use subtle steering pressure will extract a depth of feedback unavailable in more conventional designs. The electronics reflect the same philosophy. Instead of layering on a complex suite of adjustable systems, the Honda RC213V-S employs a streamlined approach that supports predictable behavior. This ensures that inputs translate directly into motion without excessive intervention. The motorcycle respects rider decisions and maintains consistency across varying conditions. Examining these choices reveals a clear engineering narrative. The manufacturer encouraged a relationship between rider and machine built on trust, transparency, and skill development. This is unusual for a street-legal machine. Most prioritize user-friendly electronics to expand their accessible performance envelope, but the Honda RC213V-S preserves a link to prototype riding dynamics. This makes the motorcycle a compelling example of how technology can be framed, not as a layer of automated decision-making, but as a support system that maintains purity of response. The design of the Honda RC213V-S also highlights the importance of mass centralization. Engineers trimmed unnecessary weight, concentrated remaining mass as close to the center as possible, and optimized rotational inertia to support responsive handling. These decisions create a motorcycle that feels lighter than its actual weight. Riders notice the effect during direction changes and mid-corner corrections. This sensation is one of the hallmarks of prototype lineage. Reducing rotational inertia allows faster transitions without requiring excessive rider effort. In a street environment, this trait enhances confidence and encourages deeper exploration of technique. The overall build quality reinforces the message. Each unit is assembled with a level of attention normally reserved for limited prototype runs. Welds are hand-executed, components are aligned with precision, and tolerances are maintained at a level beyond typical production standards. The motorcycle therefore expresses its identity through craftsmanship as much as performance. It is a showcase of what a high-commitment engineering team can deliver when cost and time are secondary considerations. The Honda RC213V-S stands apart because it embodies a kind of engineering freedom that rarely survives product planning. It is a demonstration of capability rather than a response to market demands. The 2015 Honda RC213V-S enters the final stage of its story with a central question. What happens to a motorcycle when its primary value is not measured in acceleration or output, but in the clarity of its engineering intent? The Honda RC213V-S offers an answer grounded in long-term significance rather than momentary impact. Its influence emerges not from mass adoption, but from the way it reframed expectations about how closely a legal street machine can mirror a specialized prototype. The motorcycle embodies a philosophy that extends beyond its production run. It shows how a focused design can create lasting reference points for chassis feel, mass distribution, and riding precision. The chassis of the Honda RC213V-S becomes a case study in how structural choices shape legacy. Engineers used a blend of materials and stiffness patterns to craft a frame that communicates surface detail and load state with unusual clarity, and this approach informed future development decisions across multiple categories. Even though the motorcycle was produced in very limited numbers, its engineering principles filtered into broader products by setting performance benchmarks for communication and balance. The team demonstrated that a lightweight structure with calibrated flex can improve rider confidence and reduce the need for excessive electronic compensation. The suspension design contributes to this long-term influence. The Honda RC213V-S uses precise damping, refined internal components, and careful geometry to create a platform that maintains stability under changing loads while preserving immediacy of response. Engineers showed that this style of suspension setup, often associated with prototypes, could be adapted for legal street use without overwhelming average riders. The approach inspired later decisions to pursue sharper handling characteristics in performance-oriented street motorcycles. The braking system follows the same pattern. Strong initial response paired with predictable progression creates confidence, a trait that shaped expectations for future premium models. The ergonomics of the Honda RC213V-S play a significant role in its legacy. The riding position encourages techniques that emphasize body positioning, smooth inputs, and deliberate line management, turning the motorcycle into an instructional platform for riders seeking deeper understanding of chassis behavior. This posture became a reference for later machines that aim to deliver more focused experiences without alienating street riders. The engine of the Honda RC213V-S provides another layer of long-term impact. Even with its restrained baseline output, the power plant demonstrates that throttle response, balance, and internal efficiency can matter as much as peak force in creating a meaningful riding experience. By prioritizing responsiveness over headline figures, engineers reinforced the importance of proportionality. This idea influenced later tuning strategies where manufacturers sought to improve connection between rider input and engine behavior rather than chase maximum numbers. The Honda RC213V-S also redefined expectations around craftsmanship. Its hand-finished components, precise assembly, and tight tolerances showed that a street legal machine could be built with prototype-level attention, encouraging a new wave of limited production models that combine advanced materials with artisanal construction. The motorcycle's limited volume became part of its identity. Scarcity increased its mystique, but the real significance lies in how the Honda RC213V-S framed exclusivity not as an aesthetic choice but as a consequence of uncompromising engineering standards. This reframing influenced how collectors, riders, and even other manufacturers think about high-commitment projects. It suggested that a machine can justify its existence by exploring the outer limits of design rather than serving a mass market. The motorcycle's long-term role extends into rider education. Those who experience the Honda RC213V-S gain insight into how a prototype communicates, how mass centralization affects motion, and how precise engineering alters feedback loops. These lessons migrate across the community as riders discuss how the motorcycle reveals details that conventional machines obscure. The result is a deeper appreciation for chassis nuance and mechanical transparency. The Honda RC213V-S also influences cultural expectations. It stands as a statement that a street machine can offer an experience built on accuracy and connection rather than raw force. This shifts the conversation about what makes a motorcycle exceptional. Instead of focusing on top speed or straight-line performance, riders consider how a machine feels at moderate pace, how it responds to subtle input, and how it conveys information about its environment. The legacy of the Honda RC213V-S therefore centers on recalibration. It encourages the community to value engineering truth over marketing spectacle. The motorcycle proves that clarity and balance can create a more engaging experience than absolute power. This insight shapes future design priorities across multiple segments. Its long-term impact also emerges in discussions about what a road legal machine can be. the Honda RC213V-S stretches the definition by bridging prototype dynamics with regulatory compliance, demonstrating that the gap between the two worlds is narrower than once assumed. The motorcycle stands as evidence that a focused engineering vision can survive translation to the street without losing coherence. This becomes a roadmap for future projects that seek to bring specialized technology to broader environments. Over time, the Honda RC213V-S becomes more than a product. It evolves into a reference standard for purity, execution, and intent. Its influence continues as enthusiasts and engineers revisit its structure, analyze its choices, and apply its principles to new contexts. The true significance of the Honda RC213V-S lies in how it reshapes the understanding of performance. The motorcycle shows that the highest form of engineering expression is not measured by scale or output, but by how effectively a machine communicates and responds under real-world conditions. It becomes an enduring example of how a manufacturer can turn a complex design philosophy into a coherent riding experience. The Honda RC213V-S closes its story by highlighting the value of uncompromising execution. It proves that clarity, feedback, and precision can create an experience that remains relevant long after production ends, defining its place as a landmark in the evolution of street-legal high-performance engineering. The 2015 Honda RC213V-S concludes its arc as a motorcycle defined not by scale or mass appeal but by the discipline of its engineering. It serves as a mirror reflecting what happens when a prototype mindset is carried into a street environment with minimal dilution. The Honda RC213V-S shows that a road legal machine can pursue clarity, balance, and responsiveness as its primary goals. This perspective reframes how riders evaluate performance and how engineers shape future designs. The motorcycle demonstrates that structural precision, calibrated flex, and refined mass distribution can create a riding experience that rewards subtlety and promotes confidence. These traits influence later models by proving that communication between machine and rider can matter more than peak output. The Honda RC213V-S also illustrates that craftsmanship and intent can justify limited production. Each unit stands as a focused expression of engineering priorities rather than a response to widespread demand. This becomes part of its ongoing legacy. Riders and enthusiasts study the motorcycle to understand how prototype principles translate to public roads, and how those principles affect feedback, stability, and technique. The significance of the Honda RC213V-S persists because it offers a rare glimpse into an uncompromised design philosophy. It is a machine built to communicate truthfully, respond precisely, and preserve the essence of its origins. By doing so, it reshapes expectations about what a street-legal motorcycle can be, establishing a lasting reference point for future projects that seek to merge specialized engineering with everyday usability.